Hi everyone, this is Krishna Mulagapati, working as assistant professor in EEE department, St. Peter's Engineering College. See, in this video, I'm going to explain phase control rectifiers. This is the second unit in power electronics course. And the contents of second unit, first we'll see phase control rectifiers. After that, dual converters. So two main topics are there. In that, phase control rectifiers are two types: single phase control rectifiers, three phase control rectifiers. So in single phase control rectifiers, we are going to see phase control rectifier with R load, phase control rectifier with RL load, and based on the disadvantage of this RL load, we are going to enhance the next circuit in phase control rectifier with the help of freewheeling diode. Means phase control rectifier with RL and freewheeling diode. And in single phase control rectifiers with RLE load also. This E indicates another source, DC source, which is connected at the load side along with R and L. Same way, three phase control rectifiers also to be explained. So there also we are going to see phase control rectifier, three phase control rectifier with the R load, three phase control rectifier with the RL load, three phase control rectifier with RL and freewheeling diode combination, and three phase control rectifier with the RLE load. These are the main contents. Then after that we have to see dual converters. In dual converters, again, single phase dual converters, and three phase dual converters. So in the entire second unit, the topics are, these are the topics, and we should remember one thing, one basic rule in learning this phase control rectifiers. Whatever may be the topic, suppose let us take single phase control rectifiers. We are dealing with this RL load. In this RL load, the things which are going to be discussing are, first we'll see the circuit configuration. And second one is corresponding waveforms. Then third one, corresponding expressions. So mainly we are going to see these three for a particular circuit. So like that, phase control rectifier with the RL load also we are going to see circuit diagram, circuit configuration of RL load, and waveforms, corresponding waveforms of RL load, and expressions in terms of voltage, in terms of current, and in terms of power factor, in terms of power, in terms of efficiency. So few factors that we are going to learn in this particular unit, phase control rectifiers. And phase control rectifier, you just see this. What does it mean? Rectifier means, rectifier is a power electronic configuration. It's a power processing unit where we are using to convert the AC electrical energy into DC electrical energy. AC electrical power into DC electrical power, and the applications of these rectifiers is there in DC drives more. In DC drives, we are going to use this type of rectifiers, control rectifiers, and we'll see these one by one. And when you deal these things, we got one idea that the based on the load connected at the output of the configuration unit, that power electronic configuration power processor unit, then what we got some idea that the which coordinate operation that is available with the help of a particular configuration. So, for example, single phase control rectifier with R load, with this configuration, we can get first coordinate operation only. So, first quadrant operation means voltage is positive and current is also positive. Like that, when you go for the RL load, then we will get a two quadrant operation. Then, like that, when we go see all these together, we have the different types of coordinate operations are available. When we see the dual converter means there exist two converters. There exist two converters. With the help of the dual converters, we can able to get the all four coordinate operations in a single dual converter. So there we are using based on the supply that we are going to provide to the dual converter will decide the type of dual converter, that is single phase supply is going to be applying to the dual converter is called single phase dual converter, whereas we when we use three phase supply to operate the dual converter, then we can call that a three phase dual converters. Like that, this chapter totally handles the rectifiers, and we can say first quadrant operation, second quadrant operation, two quadrant operation that we are getting, and using dual converters, four quadrant operations. Okay, we'll see. First, in this video, we'll see this single phase control rectifier when connected with R load. Okay, let us see that we have what are the basic rules that we have to notice. Here we are going to take the one circuit diagram, circuit configuration, and corresponding waveforms and its expressions. Right, we'll see them. Okay, we'll see single phase control rectifier with R load. First, we'll go for a circuit configuration. Circuit configuration. This is my thyristor. This is a bridge type thyristors. So this is one arm and another arm is like this, like same as that one. So this is my thyristor, this is my thyristor. I am calling this thyristor as T1, this as T2, and this is named as T3, and this is 4. As I said, it is connected to R load. It is connected to R load. This is the first circuit that we have to remember forever the operation. Okay. As I said, rectifier defined. It is a power processing unit in which the power is going to be processed and controlled. Means power processing means AC is converted into DC, but according to the load requirement, it is going to be controlled. Output will be controlled output. So here my AC supply. This is my AC supply. You draw same as how I am drawing. Take the first you take the bridge circuit of thyristors. Thereafter connect one load, R load. This is my R load, RL I am calling this, and this is my VS. VS is nothing but VS is equal to Vm sin omega t, right? And this is my output current and output voltage. Then, so this is the basic configuration of phase control rectifier with R load. R load. This is R load. Don't think that RL. This is not RL load. This is R suffix L. Suffix indicates the load. Okay. Next, what is our aim? Next, first we draw the circuit configuration, then go for the corresponding waveforms. So waveform that we are going to draw by considering its operation, how that the operation is going on for this type configuration. Okay, let us see is here. Now we'll see. So just carefully listen this. This is the basic circuit configuration. When you have good knowledge in this operation, in this small circuit operation, then only we can understand further classes, because the whole things, the same thing is repeating, but based on the operation, the corresponding waveforms that we are getting. So first we'll see, this is my input omega t, right? I'm calling this as a Vs. Draw it very carefully and very neatly. Okay, and you better use pencil and erasers, pencil eraser sharpener rather than pen to draw the waveforms. So if any mistake that you are going to commit will be easily erased. So I have the option that I can erase very easily if I use marker, right? So this is my input and I have two cycles. This is my one cycle, this is another cycle. Okay, I'm just giving the information how to draw these waveforms based on the circuit operation, right? So this is pi, this is 2 pi, then 3 pi, 4 pi. So you have to mention all these things. Then draw vertical lines towards downward. Draw the vertical lines exactly to the downwards. Like this. Mark dotted lines. Mark dotted lines like this. Right. Okay, then we'll see. See, this is my alpha angle. So this alpha decides the conduction of every thyristor. Alpha decides the conduction of every thyristor. Right? We'll see this. This is also alpha line, this is also alpha line. Okay, and I am getting one more alpha for the next cycle, like this. So you have to draw all these lines and go for the operation. How does it work? Right. Look at this. I am just giving the names here. I'm calling. I'm notating. I'm giving notation like this. This is A. This is B. Because it is alternating quantity. It is alternating quantity. Then whenever the positive half cycle is applied, then this will become plus, this will become minus for the positive half cycle of input. Then what happened is, this plus drives the current into the circuit. Current is coming like this, and I am saying this one is node point. Current is coming like this. Okay, this is the current path entering into the node. Then, because there are two paths that current will flow, let us see this side, bottom side. If the current is trying to move this side, then what happened? T4. T4 looks like reverse bias condition. T4 looks like reverse bias condition, means this is cathode, this is anode. Means cathode is more positive than the anode terminal. Hence we call that reverse bias. Then immediately it is going to be open circuited. It's going to be open circuited. Then the only path is through T1. Now what happened? This is A, this is K. Anode terminal, cathode terminal. Here what happened? anode is more positive than the cathode. Anode is more positive than the cathode, hence it's going to be conducted, becoming short circuit, allows the current to flow. Then current path is like this, going like this and entering into, again we have the node, the node point. Again we have the two paths for our current. We'll see this path. Suppose our current is trying to this side. If our current is trying to move that side, then what happened? So this is cathode terminal, this is the anode terminal, right? So cathode is more positive than the anode. Hence, the device shows that it is in reverse bias condition, becoming open. It's going to be open. Doesn't allow the current to flow through the device. Then what happened? Another path is current is entering in like this into the load. Into the load. Again coming to this portion. After reaching the current to this node, after reaching to this node, what happened? Again two paths. Again two paths. We know that this is already open. Earlier, this thyristor has been open, so there is no chance to flow the current through T4. Only path is through T2. How? This is anode, this is cathode. Now what happened? Anode is more positive as compared to cathode, hence it's going to be forward biased, we can say it's going to be conducting, thereby it's going to be short circuited. Then current path is coming like this and entering into the source in this manner. So how do we call this? What is the current path during this? A to T1, T1 to R load, this is R load, then T2 and back to the B to A. This is the closed path for the current flow through the load and source and T1 and T2. Okay, this is the thing going on. And my question here is, what about gate? What about gate? Okay, look at this. See, we'll see this first. It is going to be open circuited directly. Suppose I am giving gate pulse to this one. Will it conduct? Will it conduct or not? That is the question. This is having forward voltage, no doubt. Forward voltage is applied across the anode and cathode. And when I give the gate signal to the gate terminal, automatically it comes to conducting state, as we know. If the anode current is more than the holding current, automatically we can say the thyristor comes into on state. And question here is, there is a reverse voltage appearing across this open circuited thyristor. But my question is, according to the turn-on methods of SCR, as a given, but gate triggering is one of the turn-on method of SCR, as I said. But even though the reverse voltage is applying, if I give the gate voltage, will it turn or not? That is the question. Okay, definitely not. Definitely not. It doesn't conduct, because in that class itself I given one hint. The combination of both forward voltage and gate voltage will provide the conducting of SCR. Fundamental rule is that. Okay, means what? There must be two inputs for the SCR to get the conduction earlier. Even though there is no gate current, that SCR can be comes into on state, but when you give the gate voltage, it's going to be support the forward voltage, so that SCR comes to conducting state earlier as compared to zero gate voltage condition, zero gate current conditions, like that. So this is happening. What does it mean? Gate indicating what? We already seen that case. Gate voltage produced by one controlling circuit. That controlling circuit design we have seen in the last class. UJT triggering circuit. UJT triggering circuit we can use here to produce the gate signal. So there itself we have one element, that is potentiometer. Potentiometer will decide the firing angle. So what are the gate signal that the T1 and T2 getting, having the range from 0 to 180 degrees. 0 to 180 degrees. Okay. If you want to alpha angle 0 to 180 degrees, what is the type of triggering circuit we need to employ? That is not R triggering circuit of SCR, it is RC triggering circuit of SCR. Please remember. If you want the varying alpha angle from 0 to 90 degrees, then go for resistance triggering circuit of SCR. But whenever you require 0 to 180 degrees variation in firing angle, definitely we need to go for that RC triggering type circuit only. So in this case, so alpha can able to vary from 0 to 180 degrees during entire positive half cycle. So we need to provide RC triggering circuit for SCR itself. So the alpha angle that I am taking normally here, this is my alpha, 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 like this I am taking. Okay. As we know, after giving the gate signal only, our thyristor is going to be comes into conducting state from its forward blocking state. Right? Look at this. I am drawing the output voltage values. Output. Whenever the current flow, then only there existing potential difference. Thereby, we can say here after alpha angle only we are getting the output. After alpha angle only we are getting output. Then after that pi we are getting the negative half cycle. After pi we are getting negative half cycle. If it is a negative half cycle is applied, then how do you get the operation? What is the current path? We'll see that, right? So look at this. If negative pulse is applied here, then this becomes minus and this is becoming plus. P become plus, A become minus. Now the current is flowing in this manner. So just rub this current path, previous current path. This is previous current path. Am I right? Yes, yes. So rub this. Then only there is some clarity in the operation when negative half cycle is applied. Right? We'll see this. Of all this path, because the other path doesn't come this way. You'll see this. Now what happened? This current is coming out like this and entering into this node. Entering into this node. Right? Then current has two paths to flow. Next path. Then if suppose current is trying to move towards T2. As I said, this is a reverse bias condition. Why? Why it is in reverse bias condition? Why it is in reverse bias condition? Just you see polarity. This is a cathode terminal of the device, anode terminal of the device. So cathode is more positive than the anode, means there is a reverse bias condition, and immediately it's going to be open circuited. Doesn't allow the current to flow. Then there is only path is through T3. Then T3 is going to be short circuited right now. Short circuited because it is forward biased, gate signal is given to this. Immediately it allows the current to flow. Then current is coming to this node area. This node area. Then what we say? Again, there is a two paths. If current is coming like this, suppose it seems to be reverse bias, is going to be open circuited. Then current doesn't come this side. Only option is this must go this way to the load side. Means what? Even though you are applying negative half cycle at the input side of the bridge circuit, bridge rectifier, we are getting the current direction in the same as previous positive half cycle. That's why we are getting the same current, and voltage builds up across the load is also in the same manner after alpha. Like this we are getting the output. So for the next cycle, it is repeating same. So this is the output. This is for T1 and T2 conducting. This is for T3, T4 conducting. This is for T1, T2 conducting. This is for T3, T4 conducting. Please remember the operation for a particular wave, particular signal that the getting at the output side. Right. Next we'll see the remaining part. Look at this. So what is left out here? Voltage drop across thyristors. Voltage drop across thyristors. Two combinations are there. T1, T2 combination is one. T3, T4 combination is one. I'll draw one here. Okay. Look at this. When I take T1 comma T2, voltage drop across T1 comma T2. See this? This is my entire signal input that I am applying. As we know, input is caused to produce the both output and remaining voltage drop. Voltage drop is there across the switches. Output is already we have taken. So remaining drop we have to take. This is a drop available across the switch before conducting. Before means forward dropping state of the every thyristor. After that, whenever the thyristor conducts means it's going to be short circuited, and as we know, the voltage across the short circuit is 0. And voltage across short circuit is 0. Okay. Then afterwards, T3, T4 conducting. Afterwards, T3, T4 conducting, and there is a negative voltage available across the T1 and T2, as same as the input applied, as same as the input applied. Then again, this portion will come into action. Then 0, the negative value we have done. Like this, we have the voltage across the thyristors. Finally, we'll see. This is very important one. Look at this. This is not only V0, this is also I0 same waves because it is R load. R load, for R load what happened is V0 waveform shape, I0 waveform shape, both are seems to be similar. And when we see the voltage drop across the thyristor T1 and T2, remaining portion in input supply is available across the thyristors. Okay, lastly we will see input supply current. Input supply current. Look at that. For the positive half cycle, current is coming out from the A. For the negative half cycle, what is the path? B2, T3, RL load, then T4. This is the path. This is the path. Then T3, RL load, then T4, A and B. This is the path for negative half cycle. We'll see that again. Look at this. This is the R load. Okay. So if it is R load, it is having same as input voltage. But what happened here? After conducting the SCR, that we are getting the output. This portion. Then here also there is a clipping. Then we are getting like this. See, draw these waveforms very carefully because this is totally based on the operation that we are getting here. Otherwise, there is no use drawing this type of waveforms. Look at this. There is a difference between input voltage and input current. See the difference. So input current is clipped out, and whereas the input voltage is having the full signal. So these are some basics which we need before going to other topics. So thank you.